Ladies, today we're diving into a topic that's so important in relationships yet rarely discussed in this way. We're talking about how to create an environment in your relationship where your presence is cherished and valued, where the connection is so deep, so undeniable, that the thought of losing it becomes unbearable. Now, let's get this straight. We're not talking about playing games or manipulation. This is about you stepping into your full power, embracing your worth, and letting that energy shape how you show up in your relationship. Because the truth is, when you know your value, others can't help but see it too. One of the most powerful ways to create a lasting and meaningful connection is by cultivating your independence. This is not just about being able to do things on your own, but about having your own life, passions, and ambitions that stand apart from any relationship. When you live a life that is rich in your own pursuits, it not only boosts your confidence, but also makes you a more attractive and interesting person. Independence doesn't mean isolation, but rather having the emotional strength and self sufficiency to thrive on your own terms. When you are independent, you no longer depend on someone else to make you feel whole. You become your own source of joy, fulfillment, and contentment. You learn to validate yourself, to make decisions without waiting for approval, and to move forward without needing constant reassurance. This sense of self sufficiency is magnetic because it demonstrates that you are not looking for someone to complete you. You're already complete. And when you come into a relationship as a whole person, you bring so much more to the table. You're not placing the weight of your happiness or emotional well being on someone else's shoulders. Independence also gives you the freedom to truly be yourself. You're not adjusting your behavior or personality to fit someone else's expectations or desires. You're able to express yourself freely without fear of rejection or judgment. And because you're comfortable with who you are, you won't feel the need to settle for anything less than what you deserve. You'll be able to stand firm in your boundaries, your values, and your needs, and you'll be less likely to tolerate behavior that doesn't align with your standards. Having your own life means you have passions and interests that are separate from your relationship. Whether it's a hobby, a career goal, or a personal mission, being engaged in something that's just for you creates a sense of fulfillment that cannot be found in another person. This is incredibly important because it prevents you from becoming overly reliant on the relationship for your sense of identity. When you're constantly seeking validation or meaning from another person, you risk losing yourself in the process. But when you have your own fulfilling life, you don't need someone else to define you. Cultivating independence is developing emotional strength. When you are independent, you are not as easily shaken by external factors like misunderstandings or disagreements or changes in the relationship. You don't rely on someone to lift you up every time you feel down because you have the tools within yourself to manage your emotions. Emotional independence doesn't mean you don't need support. It simply means you can process your feelings and take care of your emotional well-being without losing yourself in someone else's drama or behavior. Independence also plays a role in how you approach the relationship itself. When you don't rely on someone to fulfill all your needs, the relationship becomes a place of shared growth rather than a dependency. Both partners have the freedom to pursue their individual goals while still supporting each other. This balance allows for mutual respect, healthy boundaries, and a sense of freedom within the connection. In this kind of dynamic, both people feel empowered and valued for who they are, not just for the roles they play in each other's lives. Being independent doesn't mean you isolate yourself emotionally or disengage from your partner. It means that you have a life that is full and rich in your own right, and the relationship becomes a choice, not a need. It's about creating a space where both people bring their best selves into the relationship, not because they have to, but because they want to. And when both people can do this, the relationship flourishes in ways that are both healthy and sustainable. Setting and enforcing healthy boundaries is one of the most important aspects of any meaningful and respectful relationship. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define where you end and where the other person begins. They protect your time, energy, emotions, and well-being, and they establish the expectations for how you expect to be treated. When boundaries are clear and respected, a relationship can thrive in a balanced, harmonious way. But when boundaries are ignored or violated, it can lead to resentment, confusion, and emotional exhaustion. The first step in setting boundaries is understanding what you need and want from a relationship. This involves getting clear about your values, your needs, and your deal breakers. It's about understanding what feels right for you emotionally, mentally, and physically. For example, if you need personal time to recharge, that's a boundary. If you expect honesty and open communication, that's a boundary. If you don't tolerate disrespect or manipulation, that's a boundary too. The key is to recognize what our own well-being and not be afraid to express it. Once you've identified your boundaries, it's essential to communicate them effectively. This requires honesty and directness. You don't have to be confrontational or rigid about it, but you do need to be clear about what you're willing to accept and what you're not. A healthy relationship relies on open dialogue and mutual respect, so it's important that your boundaries are shared in a way that invites understanding and respect, not defensiveness or conflict. You don't have to apologize for having boundaries. Having them is a sign of self-respect and self-awareness. However, it's not enough to simply state your boundaries once and expect them to be respected forever. Boundaries require ongoing enforcement. This means being willing to stand firm when they are challenged or crossed. It's about maintaining consistency and not backing down just to keep the peace. If a boundary is violated, it's important to address it immediately and assertively. When you let violations slide, you send the message that your boundaries are not truly important, which can lead to further disrespect and more violations down the line. When you enforce your boundaries with confidence, you reinforce the message that you value yourself and your needs. Enforcing boundaries also involves being willing to make tough decisions when necessary. Sometimes, people will test your boundaries or try to push them because they haven't fully understood or respected them. In these moments, you need to ask yourself whether the relationship is worth compromising your values and emotional safety. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries despite clear communication, it's a sign that the relationship might not be healthy or sustainable. Your boundaries are there to protect you, and if someone continues to disregard them, it's important to reevaluate whether this is the right connection for you. Boundaries aren't just about what you don't want. They're also about what you need to feel respected, valued, and secure. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and boundaries help create a space where both individuals can be their authentic selves without fear of judgment or harm. When both people are committed to respecting each other's boundaries, the relationship becomes a space where growth, trust, and connection can flourish. It's also crucial to recognize that boundaries aren't a sign of weakness or rigidity. They're a reflection of emotional maturity and self-respect. When you set boundaries, you're saying that your peace, your well-being, and your happiness are worth protecting. And when you maintain those boundaries consistently, you're teaching others how to treat you. Respecting your own boundaries is one of the best ways to ensure that others will respect them too, creating an environment of mutual trust and care. Maintaining an air of mystery in a relationship is one of the most powerful ways to keep attraction alive and ensure that the connection remains dynamic. When we talk about mystery, we don't mean being deceptive or hiding parts of yourself, but rather giving space for curiosity and intrigue to naturally build over time. This sense of mystery allows the other person to continuously discover new layers of who you are, keeping them engaged and emotionally invested. In relationships, too much transparency all at once can lead to complacency as the excitement and unpredictability are replaced with predictability. That sense of wondering, discovering, and learning about one another is what keeps the spark ignited. Part of what makes mystery attractive is the element of surprise. When you allow space for surprises, whether it's in your actions, your words, or the way you carry yourself, you keep the other person guessing in the most positive way. You don't want to reveal everything at once because without space for curiosity, relationships can feel stagnant or overly familiar. When someone has to work to understand who you are, it increases their investment in the relationship. They're no longer taking your presence for granted. They're intrigued by the unknown and want to learn more about what makes you tick. This doesn't mean playing games or intentionally keeping secrets. Rather, it's about revealing parts of yourself in ways that naturally build a deeper connection over time. Another aspect of mystery comes from how you manage your emotions and your time. If you're always available and constantly sharing every little detail of your life, the other person might start to take you for granted. By keeping some of your personal experiences and thoughts to yourself, you allow the other person to wonder what's going on in your mind. It also gives you the space to process your emotions and maintain your own sense of self rather than relying on someone else to constantly validate your thoughts and feelings. This emotional space doesn't create distance, but rather adds a layer of depth to the relationship that fosters a stronger bond built on both individuality and connection. At the same time, being a little mysterious encourages the other person to see you through a lens of admiration and respect. If they're constantly in awe of your ability to maintain a sense of individuality and not always share everything at once, it can create an allure that deepens their attraction. The mystery isn't in withholding love or affection, but in creating moments where your partner is left wanting to know more. Being mysterious in this way can lead to a deeper emotional connection because the other person doesn't feel like they figured everything out about you within the first few months. They see you as an ongoing journey, not a destination. Keeping some mystery can protect your emotional energy. It's easy to overexpose yourself in a relationship, giving away all your vulnerabilities and fears. While vulnerability is essential for emotional intimacy, being too open too quickly can create a sense of emotional overexposure where the other person feels they already know all your weaknesses and struggles. By sharing your vulnerabilities at the right pace and allowing time for trust to deepen, you preserve the sense of emotional curiosity and safety, which strengthens the bond. Ultimately, mystery in a relationship fosters a sense of balance. It's about giving the other person enough to feel emotionally connected while maintaining enough distance to keep the excitement and intrigue alive. It's about creating a space where both people feel they're continually discovering more about each other, which makes the relationship feel fresh, exciting, and fulfilling. Showing up as your best self in a relationship goes beyond physical appearance. It's about embodying your most confident, authentic, and vibrant version of yourself. Confidence is magnetic. When you walk into any situation, whether it's social or intimate, with a sense of self-assuredness, you automatically attract attention and respect. Confidence isn't about being perfect or never doubting yourself, but about owning who you are, flaws and all, and carrying that energy with you wherever you go. It's the quiet strength that says, I know my worth without having to announce it loudly to the world. To show up as your best self, you first need to understand and embrace who you truly are. This means recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, your values and your passions. Knowing yourself deeply gives you the foundation to stand confidently in any situation because you no longer rely on others for validation. You become comfortable with your own presence, and that comfort radiates outward. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you give others permission to feel comfortable around you as well. You don't have to prove yourself or seek approval, you simply exist, and that alone is enough. Confidence also involves being aware of the energy you bring into the room. Every time you enter a space, your energy speaks before your words do. When you walk into a room with a sense of purpose and self-assurance, people naturally take notice. It's not about arrogance, but about a quiet, undeniable presence that commands respect. You don't need to be the loudest or most outspoken person in the room, but when you show up with authenticity, people can't help but be drawn to you. The more you embrace your own energy, the more others will be compelled to match it. A big part of showing up as your best self is taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When you prioritize your well-being, you send a message to yourself and others that you deserve to be treated well and with respect. Whether it's taking time to nurture your body, engaging in activities that bring you joy, or investing in your personal growth, when you take care of yourself, you become the best version of who you are. This act of self-love is powerful because it shows that you don't wait for someone else to fulfill your needs or complete you. You are whole and complete on your own. Being your best self also means showing up with integrity and authenticity. It's about being true to your values and standing firm in them. You don't compromise who you are for the sake of others' comfort, and you don't settle for anything that doesn't align with your beliefs or aspirations. When you stand firmly in your truth, it signals to others that you're not willing to be swayed by outside pressure. This builds trust and respect because people can rely on you to be consistent, grounded, and real. Confidence isn't just about how you feel about yourself, it's also about how you interact with others. When you show up as your best self, you naturally uplift those around you. Your confidence encourages others to feel secure in their own skin and to embrace their unique qualities. You create an environment where both people feel seen, heard, and valued. This makes the connection stronger and more meaningful because it's based on mutual respect and appreciation for each other's individuality. Ultimately, showing up as your best self means prioritizing your own growth, well-being, and authenticity. It's about being fully present in the moment, embracing your strengths and weaknesses, and exuding confidence in who you are. When you do this, you don't just attract the right people into your life, you also create a relationship dynamic where both partners can grow and thrive together. Keeping the spark alive in a relationship requires effort, attention, and intentionality. Over time, as familiarity sets in, it's easy for things to become routine, predictable, or stagnant. The excitement that once filled every interaction can start to fade, leaving both people feeling disconnected or uninterested. But this doesn't have to be the case. With the right mindset and actions, you can continuously rejuvenate the relationship, ensuring that the connection remains vibrant, meaningful, and full of passion. One way to keep the spark alive is by prioritizing quality time together. In the beginning of a relationship, there's often an abundance of spontaneous dates, new experiences, and adventure. But as time goes on, life can get in the way. Work, responsibilities, or daily routines can take up much of your energy. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness and forget to carve out time just for each other. This is where making time for one another becomes crucial. Whether it's planning a regular date night, taking short trips together, or just setting aside moments to connect without distractions, making time for your timer shows that you value and prioritize them. These moments of connection create opportunities for you to continue discovering each other and experiencing the joy of being together. Key element of keeping the spark alive is embracing spontaneity. Relationships can often fall into predictable patterns where every moment feels like it's been scripted. But sometimes it's the unexpected, the unplanned that breathes new life into a relationship. This doesn't mean you have to do something extravagant or outlandish every day, but small surprises, gestures, or even a change in routine can reignite the sense of excitement. It could be as simple as sending a thoughtful message, planning a surprise weekend getaway, or showing up with their favorite treat just because. Spontaneity breaks the monotony and reminds both people that there's always room for fun and excitement, even in the most stable relationships. Keeping the spark alive also involves deepening your emotional intimacy. Relationships are not just about physical attraction, they're about connecting on a deeper level. As time passes, it's easy to let conversations become more surface level or habitual, but meaningful dialogue fosters connection. Ask questions you haven't asked before, explore each other's hopes and dreams, and dive into the complexities of your partner's inner world. When you actively listen and engage with their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, it builds trust, intimacy, and understanding. Emotional closeness is just as essential as physical attraction for maintaining a strong, passionate bond. In addition to emotional intimacy, physical affection plays a significant role in keeping the spark alive. While the initial phases of a relationship are often filled with physical affection and intimacy, over time it can sometimes dwindle. But physical touch, whether it's holding hands, hugging, or just a gentle touch on the arm, is a simple yet profound way to maintain connection. These small gestures communicate care, affection, and desire, which are vital for sustaining passion in a relationship. The more you physically connect, the more you create moments of intimacy that reinforce the emotional connection. Lastly, embracing change and growth is vital for keeping the spark alive. As individuals, we're constantly evolving, whether it's through our personal goals, interests, or experiences. A relationship thrives when both people support each other's growth and continue to evolve together. This could mean pursuing new activities, learning together, or even setting new goals as a couple. When you both remain open to growth, both as individuals and as partners, you create a sense of shared purpose that keeps the relationship exciting and forward moving. A relationship that allows for change and growth feels less like a static bond and more like a journey that you're both on together. Keeping the spark alive in a relationship requires attention, effort, and intention. It's not just about the big gestures, but the small, consistent acts of care, love, and curiosity that nurture the connection. By making time for each other, embracing spontaneity, deepening emotional intimacy, staying physically connected, and supporting each other's growth, you can ensure that the relationship remains fresh, exciting, and full of passion. Self-care is not just a trendy buzzword, it's a vital practice that plays a significant role in maintaining emotional, physical, and mental well-being. In a world where we're often expected to juggle numerous responsibilities, the idea of taking time for ourselves can feel indulgent or selfish. However, self-care is not about pampering or luxury. It's about prioritizing your needs and ensuring that you're operating from a place of balance and health. When you take care of yourself, you're able to show up more fully in all areas of your life, including in relationships. The foundation of self-care is understanding that you are worthy of attention and care, regardless of what you're doing for others. It's about recognizing that your needs matter just as much as the needs of the people around you. Whether it's setting aside time for rest, engaging in activities that bring you joy, or taking steps to nurture your mental health, self-care helps you recharge and replenish. When you take the time to care for your own well-being, you're better equipped to handle life's challenges and to be present for the people you care about. One crucial aspect of self-care is physical health. This includes everything from eating well and exercising to ensuring that you get enough rest and manage stress. It's easy to push physical health to the back burner when life gets busy, but neglecting your body can have a long-term impact on your energy levels, mood, and overall sense of vitality. Regular exercise not only keeps your body in good shape, but it also boosts your mood by releasing endorphins, which are your body's natural mood enhancers. Getting adequate sleep is also essential. Without it, your mental clarity and emotional resilience can suffer. When you prioritize your physical health, you're setting yourself up to be the best version of yourself. Mental health is another critical component of self-care. Taking care of your mental well-being involves managing stress, staying mindful of your emotional state, and finding ways to address negative thoughts or feelings that arise. This could mean practicing mindfulness or meditation, journaling, seeking therapy, or even setting boundaries with people or situations that cause undue stress. Just like physical health, mental health requires consistent attention and nurturing. Taking time to reflect, process, and manage your emotions not only improves your overall mood, but also enhances your ability to handle life's ups and downs. Equally important is the emotional side of self-care. Emotional self-care involves nurturing your emotional needs and ensuring that you are not sacrificing your well-being for the sake of others. This could involve spending time with people who uplift and support you, engaging in activities that make you feel loved and appreciated, or simply allowing yourself to feel and process your emotions without judgment. It also means setting healthy boundaries that protect your emotional energy. When you take care of your emotional health, you create space for deeper, more authentic connections with others because you are not relying on them to fulfill all your emotional needs. Self-care encourages you to prioritize activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Engaging in hobbies or passions that make you feel alive not only brings a sense of satisfaction, but also nurtures your individuality. When you take time for these activities, you remind yourself that you are worthy of joy and that your happiness is a priority. This sense of fulfillment directly impacts your relationships as it allows you to show up in a way that is balanced, whole, and engaged. People are naturally drawn to those who prioritize their well-being because it reflects a sense of self-respect and confidence. Lastly, self-care is about giving yourself permission to rest and recharge. In a fast-paced world, it's easy to feel guilty about taking time for yourself, but rest is essential for maintaining long-term well-being. Taking breaks and allowing yourself moments of relaxation helps you avoid burnout and ensures that you're able to approach life with renewed energy and clarity. When you are well rested and recharged, you are more present, patient, and capable of giving your best to the people around you. By prioritizing self-care, you cultivate a sense of wholeness and strength that radiates outward, improving not only your own life, but also the relationships you invest in. Being supportive without being a crutch is an essential dynamic in any healthy relationship. Offering support to your partner is an act of love, showing that you care about their well-being, their goals, and their emotional needs. However, there's a fine line between being supportive and becoming overly dependent or enabling. In a balanced relationship, each person should feel empowered to pursue their own path, take responsibility for their actions, and grow independently. Supportive behavior should lift someone up, help them grow, and encourage their autonomy, not make them reliant on you for validation, direction, or emotional stability. Support in a relationship isn't about constantly solving problems for your partner or carrying the weight of their struggles. It's about providing emotional backing, encouragement, and understanding while also giving them the space to find their own solutions. When you step in too quickly to fix things, you may unintentionally undermine their ability to navigate challenges on their own. Being supportive means listening, offering advice when asked, and standing by them as they work through their own feelings or decisions. Sometimes the best form of support is simply being there offering a comforting presence and showing empathy without feeling the need to take control. There's also the aspect of encouraging your partner to grow and evolve. True support in a relationship is about fostering independence, not dependence. This means encouraging your partner to pursue their own interests, career goals, and personal growth. It's about allowing them to take the lead in their own journey and celebrating their successes without needing to be the one who fixes or controls everything. Healthy support means having faith in their ability to handle challenges, even when it's hard for you to watch them struggle. It's about creating an environment where both partners can flourish individually while also maintaining a strong connection as a couple. Being supportive without being a crutch also requires recognizing your own needs and boundaries. It's easy to become so focused on supporting your partner that you neglect your own well being. However, a relationship works best when both individuals are able to maintain a sense of self respect and self sufficiency. If you're constantly sacrificing your own happiness or emotional health in an effort to support your partner, you risk losing your sense of identity. Healthy relationships are built on mutual support where both partners are able to give and receive in a balanced way. It's important to note that support doesn't mean always agreeing with your partner or shielding them from discomfort. Sometimes, the most supportive thing you can do is challenge them in a loving and constructive way. Encouraging them to step out of their comfort zone, face their fears, or confront difficult truths can lead to personal growth. Support is not about making life easier for someone, but about helping them develop the strength, resilience, and confidence to face challenges head on. In this type of dynamic, both partners recognize the importance of mutual respect, trust, and individual autonomy. You show up for each other, but you don't do the work for each other. You encourage growth, but you don't carry the burden of someone else's emotional load indefinitely. It's about finding a balance where both individuals feel empowered, loved, and supported in ways that help them thrive both as individuals and as a couple. Being emotionally available without being needy is a delicate balance, but it is one of the most important aspects of a healthy and successful relationship. Emotional availability is about being open, present, and able to share your feelings honestly with your partner. It's about allowing them to connect with you on a deeper emotional level, offering support, vulnerability, and empathy. However, emotional availability becomes problematic when it tips into neediness, which often stems from insecurity, fear of abandonment, or an over reliance on the relationship to fulfill all your emotional needs. When you are emotionally available, you invite your partner to share their feelings and thoughts with you. You provide a safe, non judgmental space where they can express themselves freely, knowing that you will listen and understand. You're there for them during difficult times, offering comfort and empathy without trying to fix the situation or make them feel pressure to change. Emotional availability means you are emotionally attuned to your partner, noticing when they are struggling and offering support in a way that feels nurturing and respectful of their space. Being emotionally available also requires maintaining a sense of emotional independence. This means not relying on your partner to validate your emotions or be the sole source of your happiness. It's easy to fall into the trap of depending on someone else to make you feel good about yourself, but this can create an unhealthy dynamic where you're constantly seeking reassurance or approval. When you're emotionally available but not needy, you're able to acknowledge your feelings, but you also understand that your emotional well being doesn't solely rely on your partner's actions or words. You cultivate self worth and self love from within. And while your partner's love and support are important, you do not depend them to complete you or make you feel secure. Being emotionally available without being needy means being able to express your feelings openly while also respecting your partner's boundaries. It's about finding a balance between vulnerability and independence. You can share your thoughts, fears, and desires with your partner, but you do not place the burden of your emotional health entirely on them. This approach creates a relationship where both people feel valued for who they are as individuals rather than as extensions of each other's emotional needs. This emotional balance allows space for both partners to grow individually while still maintaining a strong emotional connection. By being emotionally available without being needy, you show your partner that you trust them, but you also trust yourself to handle your own emotions. This mutual respect for independence within the relationship creates a dynamic of healthy interdependence where both people contributed to each other's happiness without becoming enmeshed, or overly reliant. At the same time, it's important to recognize that emotional availability also involves being present during difficult times. It doesn't mean shutting off or withdrawing when challenges arise. It means being able to face adversity together without leaning too heavily on your partner for emotional stability. You show up for your partner when they need support, but you also maintain your own sense of emotional equilibrium. This ensures that both people in the relationship feel secure, valued, and capable of navigating life's ups and downs together without one person shouldering all the emotional weight. Creating a sense of individuality within a relationship is a crucial component for maintaining a healthy, balanced connection. While relationships thrive on shared experiences and mutual support, it is equally important that both individuals preserve their own sense of self. The ability to maintain individuality allows each person to grow and evolve within the relationship, ensuring that the bond remains dynamic and fulfilling for both partners. When one person loses their sense of individuality, it can lead to feelings of dependence, resentment, or dissatisfaction, which ultimately weakens the relationship. Maintaining individuality starts with recognizing and respecting each other's personal boundaries and interests. It's important to remember that while you may share common interests or passions, you are still two distinct individuals with unique needs, desires, and goals. In a healthy relationship, both people should feel free to pursue their own passions, hobbies, and friendships without fear of judgment or guilt. This could mean engaging in activities that are meaningful to you, even if they are not shared by your partner. Whether it's pursuing a career goal, continuing education, or simply enjoying solitary activities, having space to express your individuality allows both partners to feel fulfilled outside of the relationship. At the same time, maintaining individuality also involves being mindful of the need for personal space. No matter how close or intimate two people are, everyone requires moments of solitude to recharge, reflect, and process their emotions. By respecting this need for personal space, both partners can avoid feeling suffocated or overwhelmed by the constant presence of the other. When both individuals feel secure in their own autonomy, they are better able to bring their best selves to the relationship. This space not only allows for individual growth, but also helps prevent the relationship from becoming stagnant. It's essential to strike a balance between togetherness and personal time, ensuring that both partners feel supported, but also free to nurture their own identities. It is also crucial to foster open communication about needs and boundaries in the relationship. If one person begins to feel that their individuality is being compromised, it's important to address the issue early on. This requires honesty and vulnerability. In healthy relationships, partners feel comfortable expressing when they need more personal time or when they feel their individuality is being overlooked. Having these conversations ensures that both people's needs are being met without compromising the integrity of the relationship. It's also important to recognize that individuality does not equate to emotional detachment. A relationship can thrive even when both partners are strong and independent individuals, as long as there is mutual respect, trust, and understanding. Support and encouragement from each partner are key to preserving individuality. Rather than attempting to mold each other into a singular unit, both individuals should support each other's personal growth and aspirations. This may involve encouraging your partner to pursue their goals, explore new interests, or cultivate their own friendships outside of the relationship. By doing so, you help them maintain a strong sense of self, which in turn strengthens the overall relationship. When both partners feel free to be themselves and grow independently, it creates a sense of balance and mutual respect that fosters a deeper emotional connection. In any healthy relationship, it's vital that both people recognize the importance of maintaining their individuality. When both partners are free to express who they truly are without fear of losing their sense of self, the relationship can become a place of mutual growth, fulfillment, and strength. Developing a sense of independence within a relationship is essential for maintaining personal growth, satisfaction, and long-term happiness. Many people enter relationships seeking companionship, love, and emotional support, which are all crucial elements of a strong bond. However, it's important not to lose sight of one's own individuality and independence in the process. Independence within a relationship doesn't mean emotional distance or disconnection. Rather, it's about creating space for each person to maintain their sense of self while still nurturing a deep and meaningful partnership. This balance allows both individuals to feel secure, valued, and free to pursue their own aspirations without feeling confined or dependent on each other for validation. One of the first steps toward cultivating independence within a relationship is understanding and respecting each person's need for autonomy. This means recognizing that each partner has their own dreams, passions, and interests, which may not always align with the other person's. It's crucial to support and encourage each other's personal goals and aspirations, whether they involve career advancement, hobbies, or other personal pursuits. Rather than feeling threatened by your partner's independence, you can embrace it as a positive force that enriches the relationship. When both partners are empowered to pursue their individual goals, the relationship becomes more dynamic as both people bring unique experiences, perspectives, and growth to the table. Having a sense of independence also means being able to take care of oneself emotionally and mentally. In a healthy relationship, it's important that each person is able to manage their emotions and maintain their emotional well being without relying on the other person to provide constant reassurance or validation. While it's natural to seek comfort and support from a partner during tough times, true emotional independence allows you to process your emotions and challenges on your own, building resilience and confidence. By not relying entirely on your partner for emotional stability, you are better able to show up for them in a way that is supportive but not overwhelming. This emotional autonomy fosters a sense of mutual respect and encourages both partners to feel secure in their own emotional space. Financial independence is another vital aspect of maintaining a healthy sense of self within a relationship. Financial independence doesn't necessarily mean that each person must be completely self-sufficient or that money should be a dividing factor, but it's important for both partners to have control over their finances and to be able to contribute in a way that feels fair and equitable. When both individuals can independently manage their financial responsibilities, it reduces the potential for power imbalances or feelings of resentment within the relationship. It also creates a sense of security and confidence, knowing that both partners are equally invested in the financial well-being of the partnership. Maintaining a strong sense of independence involves maintaining personal friendships and social connections outside of the relationship. While spending time together is crucial for fostering intimacy, it's equally important to nourish relationships with friends, family, and others who contribute to your well-being. Having a social support network outside of your partner helps you maintain a sense of individuality, enriches your life with new experiences, and gives you the freedom to grow in different ways. It also prevents the relationship from becoming too insular or dependent, allowing both partners to feel confident and fulfilled in their own social circles. Ultimately, independence within a relationship leads to a healthier, more balanced dynamic. Both partners are able to maintain their unique identities and pursue their personal goals while still being deeply connected to each other. When independence is nurtured, the relationship becomes one of mutual respect, trust, and encouragement, where both individuals thrive both together and separately. Remember, ladies, when you're living in alignment with your true self, you become irreplaceable. You don't have to chase anyone to prove your worth. They'll be chasing after you, wondering how they ever lived without someone as incredible as you. Stay empowered, stay grounded, and never forget when you show up fully as yourself, you'll make sure no one takes you for granted. And if they do, well, they'll soon realize what they've lost. Thank you.